3, 2, 1. Boom. And we are live. Welcome to Crawford's House podcast. We are on location today. If you're tuning in on YouTube, we are on location. First time ever. Definitely won't be the last time ever. Let's
I
put it
hope
that
not.
way. And we have our guest in-house, even though we are out of house, Mr. Dylan Turato. Dylan.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. I always tease people. I said this was going to be the first guest I ever had on the podcast because you were the guy that I remember talking to when I said I want to set it up and do it. And I said 3 times, I'm like, I'm going to get him next week. And then I'd never actually checked a calendar date to see if that's possible. And if I'm not mistaken, you just had a pretty big thing in your life happen.
Absolutely. So I was actually super excited to be a guest.
Thank you very much. Honestly,
and we were gonna get it done, but then my wife, we had our second baby.
Congratulations.
And we had it a week early, so that kind of threw our plans.
It throws everything in the loop there. Was it planned a week early or just kind of happened a week early?
It wasn't planned until like near the end there. So we ended up going for a C-section. So it's a planned C-section. So
gotcha.
Everything kind of it works out at the end of the day because you're a little less. There's no panic in the
no
day.
Panic.
You know what's going on.
It's going to happen here and
yeah.
then.
So I was excited, but I've been tuning into all your podcasts, and I've been watching. And
been watching me talk to myself, except that one time when I had Trevor. Thank you again, Trevor, for the last time. Yeah, exactly.
It was a great one. Like, oh my God, I've been enjoying them. So I've been sharing away.
I appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm trying.
Like I said, when I started, when we were talking before the camera started rolling, I was saying that I just kind of do it just to kind of. We said we were going to do it. I don't do it to get the people. I just do it because it's a general interest. And honestly, if the people enjoy it, I'm doing something properly.
Absolutely,
that's what I like to think.
You can tell your passion, like right off the bat. I'm not gonna lie.
I keep hearing that, and it's like that's what everybody always says. It's like the radio, because I did radio broadcasting, and graduated in 2013, and then that car accident happened at the end of 2013, where I didn't get the chance really to get that radio job, and I feel like you said, the passion's there. I just love doing it. I love trying to make that strong $35,000 a year salary if I'm lucky. But it's not about the money, like you said. It's about the passion. Honestly, it's about if you enjoy doing it. It's
I agree with you, and I especially love the fact that you're getting local people involved, and it was so cool to see your list of guests that you were going to have.
Yes.
They all just seem so interesting, and I can't wait to tune in every time you pop one in. Like I'm so excited every time.
That's the goal when I try and look at booking people. It's like I don't want to book just like I could book Joe or Jenna off the street, but I don't know what they do for anyone. Right. I like to try and get the people that matter in the community, and again, where we are today, we're at New Beginnings in Chatham. Not sure if I mentioned that or not, but this place means something to me personally, so it's like to be able to get someone who's directly, again, personal connection with you and I back in high school, to be able to have someone who's in that facility where they end up helping me in my time of need, and then to be able to turn around and be able to just be invited back in to do the interview with you. It just seems, it's a double privilege, double honor in my eyes.
Awesome, man.
So the big part of why I'm here, obviously, is because, like I said, this place played a big factor in my recovery. Now, I will admit, my brain injury was unlike any other one I've ever encountered. I ended up having a recovery where it was almost kind of like things didn't happen, but things definitely happened. Yeah. And I didn't need to use this place as much as some other people in the community.
I would agree. Yep.
Which I look at it as a positive thing and a negative thing, because that positive, I guess a positive outcome with just what I live now. But the negative side of I didn't use the free resource that was available to the community, and I think that's a big thing that we should kind of talk about, how this place is free for anyone just to walk in.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up, because we of course wouldn't be able to offer our services if it wasn't for the organizations and the businesses that sponsor. So
which are so thankful. Again, thank you so much to the businesses that do sponsor, because again, like I said, they matter so much to me personally, and how many other people come in these doors every day.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize, and I'll name them, the Lynn right? The local health integration network. They support us with a big chunk of change, and then of course the United Way of Chatham-Kent and the United Way of Sarnia-Lambton.
Yep, and amazing people that I ended up getting to work there, and just I helped them out a little bit. And I think it was 2015. He was Dave, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic guy with a phenomenal organization up there.
They have, I've been working alongside United Way for the 5-6 years I've worked here. I constantly go out and do presentations with them and things like that. And there's not one person on staff there that's a bad person. They are all,
well, that's fantastic, because you never want to have a bad person as your employee, because they're not doing the job at that point, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what kind of makes a perfect employee.
Yeah, and just touching base on that, when you donate to a place like United Way, you're always wondering, where do my dollars go, right? And things like that. So I think it's a great opportunity, like what you're doing here is, for me to even reach a different type of crowd, right? Because I go out and I do the presentations, go to Union Gas and do all the same businesses and all the same things all the time. But one of the things I notice is that if you've never been impacted by a brain injury or a stroke, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
No, and I completely get that, because as an individual who lived without a brain injury and then lives post brain injury, I can 100%. Like I think I always use Matt as an example, where Matt would always come in and talk to us about drinking and driving, and it's like I've heard this message my whole life. I don't need to be preached anymore. But then look what happens.
Oh yeah, right. And you talk about it, because how many times do they drag you down to the gym when you're in high school to watch a video, right? And
it's a good video. It's a great presentation. I'm not trying to take that away from them. No, they're a phenomenal organization.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Just you're in a state of mind, I feel, when you're in high school or when you're a little bit younger, that'll never happen to me moment, right?
I'm 15. And, I'm like, I'm invincible. The world can't touch me.
I look back at a lot of those and I'm like, I really wish I would have taken a lot more things seriously 100%. And knew the resources, right?
But that's that goes into the whole thing where as you grow older, you grow wiser, right? Because you weren't aware of that as a kid. It was a situation where you had to live through it to kind of grow from the experience and learn from it at that point. And
100%. Like it's like you say, live and learn, man.
Live and learn. That's
exactly. If you're not learning every day, you're not living.
You're not living. See, take that away. If you take anything away, well, hopefully there's such more to take away from this. But if you're gonna take something away from it, take that, because that's so true to heart. Now, we haven't really talked much about what New Beginnings is. Yeah. So what, when I walk through those doors, what am I instantly greeted by? Obviously, an open facility with a lot of beautiful, happy faces. But what is inside?
Yeah, so New Beginnings is a recreational day program for anybody in the Chatham-Kent as well as Sarnia-Lambton who have had a brain injury or a stroke.
Now, when we say that, we mean the Chatham-Kent region, kind of Wallaceburg, Blenheim, Tilbury, all of the surrounding communities are all welcome.
Yeah, so our location is in Chatham, but we do service Chatham-Kent. They get bussed in.
I was going to say, there was a bus that brings people in from locations and
the
things
bus,
like that?
Some of our people have caregivers that will drive them in and pick them up and things like that. So, unfortunately, we ourselves don't have a transportation service, but we are open.
That's what I like to think.
That's what I like to say, too.
I always like to think there's an infinite possibility of the future.
That's the growth.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Absolutely.
And if there's one thing that I have seen in the 4 years, I guess it'd be technically a little over 5 at this point in time. Yeah. It was, March of 2014, the first time I came here. So, 5 years. Well, I don't even have my fingers on my right hand.
5 years. Oh my.
Where's the time go? Right? It's just in one ear and out the other. Oh my God. The facility's grown. Where the wood shop has ended up becoming, that was a huge growth that was in the bits when I came here in the 14, and now it's fully operational. When I walked in here, there was a couple people just in there doing some woodworking. Yeah. Just that's incredible. I don't know if people understand that is an option.
Well, and I like that you said, one of the words you said was it's so open, right? So when you walk in, you will see an open concept area. So there's no walls in the place that restrict you from being a part of anything. And another cool one is kind of how the employees, the volunteers, and the students, we dress casual dress.
Yeah, totally, you don't look any different than I am.
Absolutely. So when you walk into the
dress code,
I agree, man. I come from a place where it was. Everybody wanted you to wear scrubs, right? So when I started here, it was really cool concept saying, when we're out in the community, we don't want you know, we don't want you to stand out. We want everybody to blend in.
Yeah, we're all together.
And brain injury is a very, you know, it's not always on the surface. You can't always tell. So,
no. And that's actually one thing that I always kind of, I always, when I ride the bus, I always end up kind of sitting, sometimes I end up having to sit in the handicap seats where, you know, they're designated for handicapped people. And then sometimes I'll see other people get on and look at me like, oh, am I just sitting up there? And I'm like, I don't ever want to vocalize it because I'm not that kind of person. I don't like conflict. I'd rather give you this seat than try and make an ass of myself and be like, look, not all injuries are present and visible, you know? Yeah. But like once you break it down, it's like my back is literally hurting 24/7, but I don't complain about that. Yeah. It's just you gotta take that extra seat sometimes.
Yeah, you don't see it on the outside.
No, and I think that is a huge one that I think a lot of people do end up forgetting is that not all injuries are visible on the outside. PTSD is another huge one that like I work with the Canadian Blood Services. I like to think quite a bit. Just kind of volunteer my time and helping them whenever I can. And one of the things that I am deadly terrified of is a needle going back in my arm. And I don't know if it's because I was forced hundreds of times to have a needle in my arm when I was in the hospital or like what it was, but it's like I can't even when I see a needle on a movie or a TV screen go into somebody's arm, like I know it's probably a fake needle or something, but nah, man, I
know exactly what you're talking about.
It's one of those things I don't want to see it. And but at the same time, there's some people that they give blood, you know, every time they can, every like 56 days for 86 or whatever the day is for the increments or whoever, like as a male, female. But it's like, I just have to put that PTSD effort and kind of just recruit other people and be like, look, man, even though I'm terrified of it, I'm a little baby back, you know, biatch, but like, you can save 3 lives, you know, by just going and donating, and that's just, you know, I'm gonna have to conquer that.
It's the fears thing, right? And I like that you said, you know, like just it's not on the outside type of thing, because like as an example, you know, like after you've been in a brain injury or like a car accident, something like that, or had a stroke, you know, what we find out is some loved ones aren't sure how to deal with it. So, you know, they start to kind of creep away and don't necessarily
they just separate themselves without even kind of realizing it, or maybe they do realize it and they're doing it intentionally, which is the worst case scenario. But it is just one of those things where they just kind of slowly move away, right?
So like and you know, with mental health being such a, you know, a giant thing in 2019, I find that depression aspect of everything, 100%. You know, you cannot see depression, right?
There's I've actually recently met some people, very beautiful individuals, the most happy personality, most beautiful looks. They're super cool people. But then I talk to them and just like, you know, like I'm always sad and hate myself. I'm like, how though? Like I look at you and you're the most bubbly, happy, positive person. How can you hate yourself? I don't understand it. It's the whole, you know, depression thing, right? We don't understand it.
And it's like, you know, and that's on the inside, right? So I think that, you know, it all ties back into everybody looking the same, right? Like I said about our dress code. So really cool thing, you know, and there's lots to do here at New Beginnings. So
absolutely.
As soon as you walk in, you're greeted usually by one of the staff members, and then if the staff members are busy, one of the members will jump in, you know, hey,
welcome to New Beginnings. How's it going? Who are you?
Right? Yeah. That's the best part. And then
very social.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the social part is so big. Know, it's very hard to you know, jot down, oh, they're so more social than they used to be, because a lot of the things that people want to see is physically getting better and you know,
which is a
new
good thing to see.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's things, again, like the injuries that are on the inside. You can't see some recovery that are, you know, mental recovery, being able to talk to 3 people at once instead of just one, or those are things that you can't really necessarily look at somebody and expect, or I shouldn't even say expect because it's such a negative word. I would say look at someone and know if that's going to happen or not. It's
crazy, right? And that's one of the things I always say, you know, brain injury is so unique that you could take 5 people and they could all fall the exact same way, hit their head in the exact same place,
exact same corner or whatever,
right? And none of them have the same injuries.
Nope.
Right? One doesn't talk, one doesn't walk, one's totally fine, one can't see.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it's the great. So working here for the last 6 years has really got me to evolve, right? So I've really learned, how to just adapt to the situation and things like that. And you talked about new beginnings growth. And I think that was a big part of new beginnings growth is we had to, offer as many things as we could possibly offer.
Absolutely.
In that, between 8:30 when we open in the morning and 4 o'clock when we close, we have to offer as much things in a day as we can, because if you come in here and you're not finding something that you want, then you leave. And then you might not come back.
And at that point in time, I would look at it as that we failed as an organization. And I would never look at it in that sense.
Yeah.
But that's the way I would personally feel about it. I'd be like, we have failed to keep you here.
Absolutely.
And that's what our job is, to keep you involved with us, because we want you to feel included just like everyone else.
Yeah, and people will always fall through the cracks, right? There's a lot of stigma, right? So after a brain injury or stroke and you start to come to a facility, right, like this, some people say, like, I don't want to be known as somebody who has
to go to these places,
so,
which is not even a place like that. It's literally like a Tim Hortons or a McDonald's. How many people go to McDonald's and Tim Hortons in the morning to socialize with people? It's literally what this facility is.
And our age group will know this very well. When I first started doing my presentations, I always used to say, it reminded me of The Wheels.
Oh my God, that was classic.
So, right? It reminds me of
Oh my God.
It reminds me of a place where you could go, you could have fun, meet new people, hang out, and go home when you wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And the amount of things we offer here, that's what it kind of reminded me of, because you went to the Wheels and you could swim, you could golf, you could do.
And I was just about to ask you about that. That's what you guys have. You guys have day trips. You guys plan day trips where you do those things. You go out and you take them swimming, or you take them out to I guess even do dancing and things like that.
Yeah. So we go out to the Y every single week. We go to the golf course once a year, and we have a golf tournament.
The golf tournament. I've been part of that. That was a phenomenal turn. Just a fun day of hanging out and just it's like, I've never been good at golf. And because I'm blind in one eye and basically blind in the others, I always say, I hit that ball and it's gone. I don't know where that ball will go, and I don't really care as long as it's somewhere on the green. And that's the attitude that everyone has the same day. We're like, we're just here having fun. We don't care. Golf is not. It's so not Tiger Woodsy.
No, and like you're saying, outings, right? We take them on a shopping trip once a month, so we all load on a bus.
Oh, right on.
We go to Giant Tiger for an hour, and then we go out to Walmart.
Right on. Get to go to do the shopping and get to things out of their way if they're not able to get them themselves.
And that's the big thing, right? Transportation. I said, new beginnings ourselves, we don't have transportation, but a lot of the times, with a stroke or a brain injury, you have epilepsy or seizures and things like that, which, yanks your license away, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as your license goes away, your independence goes down.
Yeah.
And what we find is that these day trips and these outings are sometimes the only day trips and the outings that they're having that month.
Well, actually, that was something that I was going to mention a couple minutes ago when we were in the midst of another discussion. There was that's what I find a lot of people. I've even seen articles about it where people will go to the grocery store and just walk around the grocery store and just have those interactions with people, but then put everything, just leave the cart and leave, because that's all their day can hold, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah,
because everyone deserves to kind of be included in a different way, in some different, like it's especially when someone excludes themselves, kind of deal. It's like they almost don't mean to, but they just get so stigma related where they end up just kind of putting themselves in the dark corner. And,
yeah. It's that stigma, right? That's the craziest word, right? Because we live in a society where you want to be accepted, and you want to, you want to fit in a lot of people, and it's so sad because when you come up in the school system, it's there in elementary, it's there in high school, it's there in college.
Everyone's divided by groups,
right? And then all of a sudden you're out in the real world, and there's no groups, and you're like, well, where do I fit in?
Where do I fit in?
It's
See, that's the one thing that I do. I can 100% stay. I was in high school. You were in the same high school as me, a couple years older. You were in the cooler clique than I was, because, dude, football, right? Football, man.
Guess,
you're on the football. You're much cooler than anybody. That's just. Everyone knows that when they go to high school. You're football, but I had my loser nerdy haircut thing, and I only hung out with a few people. But when I think back of that now, it's like, I cut my hair in college because I felt that the hair actually kept me back from wanting to do it.
Crazy?
And as soon as I cut the hair, the amount of people that were willing to talk to me and me talk back to them, I was always willing to talk to those people, but it was like that whole approachability thing is pretty huge. But at the same time, like you said, once you get in the world, I can go anywhere now, and I'm friends with anybody because I just don't see those things. So there is no such thing as color between you and I. There's no such thing as difference in political views, but that shouldn't keep us from being friends.
I don't think so either.
It's like we should be able to sit down and have a discussion. Agree to disagree kind of deal. Yep. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. We can try and argue, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna shake your hand, and we have different opinions.
And I feel like that's the connection that a lot of our members have, right? Because a lot of our members, they come from totally different backgrounds, right? And then they're all in one building at one time,
and they're all just hanging out.
Yeah. And the coolest thing is we have debates here every single day about everything you could possibly think of. Last week,
God damn it, Cool Ranch Doritos are better than jalapeno and cheese. I will buy a bag.
I love Cool Ranch. I'm with you on that one.
Cool Ranch is pretty awesome, but I'm a jalapeno and cheese
really
kind of guy.
Oh man, dang.
So let the debate start.
No, like honestly, we will debate about anything because debating is a very healthy thing to do, right?
Dude, 100%.
I know last week. Or the week prior, I don't remember, but
time is just a thing we can't.
Jeez Louise. We were debating, do you have a shower and then a bath, or do you have a bath and then a shower?
Who says I have to have both?
Well, and that's that was the third option, right? Somebody said, "Well, why are you having both?" Right?
Well, you see, I get it though. If you're having a bath in the shower, you're bathing with a bath bomb. I get it.
See,
I had a bath bomb one time.
There you go.
And I had to immediately shower after it because it's just all over you. Like, am I supposed to walk around kind of blue?
It was the craziest thing, right? We had and it was so cool to see them, something so simple.
Dude, it's like red or blue.
But there's so many different opinions on it, right? Yeah. Well, why would you shower first? And then somebody's like, well, then I can relax. Why would you have a bath first? You're bathing in your own
filth.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was so cool, though. And then, like you said, at the end of the day, you all shake hands. You're all friends.
Look, you're going to bathe and then shower. I'm going to shower then bathe. Right? I'm not going to bathe at all. It's just like, we got all different opinions.
Yeah, it was so cool. So, and I think it tends to that atmosphere that you were talking about of just such an accepting place, right? Like,
yeah, that's the one thing that I see with the world, man. It's I like to look at myself as a good human being. I don't think I'm the best human being. There's no matter how much good you can do, there's always some good, more better than you can do. I look at you and I look at you. You're an incredible human being who's positive individual, not only in the community but the people you're always around. Thanks. Your family. I can't wait to see. It was a little boy you had, right? You have 2 little boys now. I can't wait to see the little Turatos that come in. It's Turato-Wright, right?
Yes.
You share the last name. Yes. So I can't wait to see what the little Turato-Wright little boys are going to be up to.
It'll be interesting.
Do you guys plan on having a third, or are you just going to keep the 2?
Just the 2. Yeah, I think.
I hate to just kind of make this a little side story. 3 years apart?
2 years. 2 years apart. Yeah. Jeez, so I'm hoping I have 2. I'm hoping I have 2 me's and I don't have my brother. But I guess
we'll see what happens there, right?
I guess we'll wait and see.
It's all on how they're brought up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The father brings up the child. Now we kind of did just divert off of the new beginnings.
That's going to happen.
It's so many times, man. That's how good conversation happens.
Absolutely.
Right? We're always coming back to the main topic. However many side stems we can get to.
I'm okay with that.
I'm so okay with that. I always try and keep these capped in an hour. I'm not even going to look at how long it is because it's just going to end when it ends. That's just
cool with me,
man.
How it goes. That is cool with me.
Yeah, but so we've talked about how new beginnings is really just an open door policy and how you're always going to be meeting my employee. What is there to do once we get here?
Yeah, so we offer, like I was saying, we offer so much stuff. We have 4 computers in the back, so you can really, start to use a computer. We just recently purchased tablets.
Oh, right.
So some people are like, I don't want to learn the computer, but I want to learn a tablet.
Yeah, which is the huge new thing. And I'll admit, when I had the brain injury, that was the one thing I didn't really want. I was really reluctant to get back into electronics and things like that.
And now look at you.
Yeah.
Right?
Nothing crazy, just setting it up. It's just set up podcast.
But it's really cool. So I'm actually running those tech classes.
Oh,
so
right on.
Yeah, so every Tuesday and Thursday all day. You can bring in your cell phone, your tablet, or I can show you on one of the back computers here.
How to operate
And I'll just run you through things. If you don't know how to turn it on, I'll teach you. If you don't know how to save photos, I'll teach you.
As simple as that.
Right. Anything you want to learn. Yeah, so I'm pretty tech savvy, so sometimes you got to bring your own passions and your own things into the workplace, right? So they and a lot of our members are actually getting their own tablets, right? And then, you know, to contact their loved ones that don't live in this town and things like that, to keep up with the photos of the babies.
Yep. Well, it's that's a big thing that people lose, right? You end up losing when you don't have the contact. It's definitely not I'm going to put my pictures in the mail and mail them to you anymore. That's
It's not like that anymore.
Not like that. So that electronics thing is huge.
Yeah. So we have 2 pool tables.
Yep. Got my butt kicked a few times on those.
I know you have. We got a shuffleboard table that we're actually we're thinking about revamping a little bit. So we might strip it down and we might turn it into like a curling table and do the rings instead. Just because
cool.
Yeah, just
change it up.
Change it up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, everyone likes no one. Well, I shouldn't say no one likes the same thing over and over again.
No, yeah.
But like, you like the same thing, but always you're looking to get a little jazzed up. Change it up.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, we have the wood shop, and it's fully functional. We have a lathe, the CNC machine, chop saw, bandsaw.
Honestly, some incredible equipment that I would never be able to expect to be able to be taught how to use in the average.
So we could really refinish the shuffleboard table ourselves. I think that's the coolest thing. You know it,
right
man.
There. It's a project.
You put it back on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was actually where I was going to end up bringing it to, because most recently I just saw that there was a store who ended up picking up one of your art exhibits that a member had used. It was like 3 saw blades that had artworks on them.
Yes.
Let's talk about, because that was incredible. That was an incredible art piece.
Yes. Oh man, put me on the spot. Retro Gaming on Kyle Drive there. Destination Retro.
Retro. Yeah, dude. Great store.
Yeah. I hate to not get the name right, but that is the name.
Like you said, I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
No offense
man.
to Destination Retro.
Man.
I didn't mean to
Great
do that.
place. If you need a game, go there. It's amazing.
It is. I keep seeing all the things they post. Incredible. Like flashback games that I haven't seen. Dude,
it's crazy, incredible. Dude. It's crazy. You go in there and you're just like, all right, how much money do I have?
How much? 20. Yeah. I better hit the ATM.
So one of our really talented artists here, because we do crafts here at New Beginnings as well.
I say a massive arts area.
Oh yeah, so big, right? Bigger than you've ever probably seen anywhere.
Yeah.
She's very into. She tries new things all the time.
Now, when we say she, we mean the house artist? Is there like one individual who's usually the artist?
So there's a lot who do the artwork.
Okay.
This individual is the one who did the saw blades.
Okay. So I'm just saw blade artist.
Yeah. So I'm just touching base on her.
Okay.
She loves to try every couple months. She totally changes it up, right? So she was really into wood burning for a while. Then she was into painting saw blades, and we would get whole bunch of old saw blades in, and she'd sand them down and she'd paint them. Wow. And now she's into the CNC work, so she's constantly it's really cool to see her evolve like that.
See, I can't wait to see what she can create on CNC.
Oh, it's so cool. And actually, she just did one of Trevor Legary. She just did one of his photos. So you know how you were talking about the books with Trevor?
Yes.
I bought one.
Oh, right.
To support, right? Because I like to support the local.
I knew the book.
I think I got lucky, right? I just kind of seen the post. It's when you go on Facebook.
It's all about
time.
That deserve the things.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. So I just happened to be one of the very first people that commented, and he dropped it off here at New Beginnings. So Trevor popped in here, right?
He's been here. He knows the place.
Yep. So he gave me a book, and we chatted for a bit. He left. I opened the book, and the artist came over and went, "Wow, that's a beautiful photo." Yeah. And so,
was it the one of the dam?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one picture I remember seeing him post about. I was like, dude, that's a phenomenal
So what we did with that is I scanned it to myself, and then I turned it into a file that our CNC machine can read. And CNC machine is a machine that will come down and cut whatever you want out of wood.
Yes, good point for anybody who's watching doesn't know what a CNC. Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Honestly, I wish I had more opportunity to use the CNC.
Yeah, so I CNC'd that photo, and she is an incredible artist, and she painted it up, and I will show you later.
Absolutely.
And Trevor's just been really busy. He was traveling and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's out west right now.
Yeah,
on his way back. Yes.
So
Once Trevor,
he's back, woo woo. When he's back, he's gonna pop in. I'm gonna give him that CNC. So
no way.
Yeah, so we did phenomenal. It for him, right?
Really?
So yeah, it was really cool.
Now I feel like I got to drop off a picture or something because I would love a piece of artwork. Like,
we love to give back to the community, right? Because the community does so much for us that we want to give back, and then that ties back into Destination Retro. She made these saw blades with a picture of the classic Mario.
Dude, I say that there was like this, like the
so
16-bit
cool, right?
Mario.
Oh
like
yeah, right.
The original Mario.
Yep. Pac-Man was the other one, and Mega Man.
I say Mega Man was the last one. And when I saw the Mega Man, it was like the Troopers.
And she did it in little tiny squares, as you've seen, right? Like little tiny.
She drew it. In 8-bit.
Yeah. It was the craziest thing, right? So I actually bought it. She probably did it about. She did it probably about a year and a half ago, I would say.
Okay.
And I really liked it, right? Because I'm a gamer. I loved it. So
it's a 90s class. It's my childhood, right there.
Absolutely. So I made a donation so that we could keep it here at the club because normally, we sell our crafts or we accept donations for our crafts, I should say.
Absolutely.
So I made donations to keep it around here.
Good call.
And when Destination Retro opened up, I was like, that's where this needs to be.
Needs to be here. Not even for sale as like a piece of artwork. And then if somebody comes in, like, I'll give you $1,000. Maybe we can talk about being for sale. If I can get $1,000 for that, that would help here so much. Like it would it's not going to get a good chunk of money for the appreciation of the artwork that's there.
It was so cool. The owner was actually there, so he was the one who accepted the saw blades.
Really?
And you could just, tell by his face, you're like, what? You're giving this to us? And we're like, yeah, man. Like, we grew up. New Beginnings grew up in this community, right? We started in a basement.
Really? I was gonna end up kind of tailing around to that, like where New Beginnings started, but in a basement.
Yeah, in a basement, and actually one of our original members' basements.
Really? And it's still here to this day.
Yep. And then it grows into a storefront. So we were on a storefront on St. Clair, where Fabricland is.
Okay. Yep.
Right by Wendy's.
By the Wendy's
there.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
In that little plaza.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice little plaza.
And then we moved out here. So we grew up in the community, and we've obviously been supported well enough in the community to have grown to where we are.
Absolutely, which is it's huge. I'll probably end up taking maybe through a tour at the end of the video if we're allowed, because
you can do
I would
whatever
love to show everyone the facility that's offered you.
And just as somebody who grew up in the community, and I'm raising my family in this community, it's just something that I look forward to giving back to the community as much as possible.
And that's the one, if I'm not mistaken, like Chatham-Kent's, it's like Give Back CK or something. Like, isn't that one of their? It's like their title.
Yeah,
like
Give you're absolutely right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and it's so it's amazing. Like we were talking the one in one ear and out the other earlier. It's amazing how many. When you get into healthcare, I'll just say, because that's where we are.
Yep.
It's amazing to see how many organizations and businesses really do band together to make things work. It's amazing.
Collaborations do, right? Like, I'm not going to succeed if I look at you and watch you fail while I'm failing. Now we both fail and nobody gains anything. So we come together and help each other rise up and succeed.
I agree.
You can't tell me that's not a good thing to do with, like, for other businesses.
Yeah, it's awesome. And just that collaboration, I'll talk about. I'll bring back up United Way. At both of our locations, they fund a program that we do for exercise.
Okay, right on.
So up in Sarnia and here in Chatham, we have 2 people at each location. Excuse me. We have 2 people at each location who are certified senior fitness instructors.
Okay.
So myself, I'm one of them. So what we do is we teach the exercise here at New Beginnings. So I teach, flexibility, cardio, strength training.
All the very important things just for daily life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can attest to that, because I remember when I just got out of the hospital, I still remember it. It was not even a month out of the hospital. They had me kind of like doing the curls with little soup cans. Soup cans.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, was I that? Did I have no... I know I lost 95% of my muscle. I didn't have any muscle that point, but freaking soup cans. Like...
They say, the quicker you start at the recovery, the better, right? So
I love to think that way.
It's kind of cool to hear, it's nice to hear your story about, soup cans, because I've never been at that end of the process, right? I am,
and I hope you never have to.
Right, yeah. And I'm at New Beginnings, where by the time you've got to me here at New Beginnings, you've been through probably some of the hardest part of the
battle.
You survived.
Yep.
And
which is like, that wasn't even, I was unconscious for that part of the battle. So I
but it's just the craziest part though, right? Like I'm not there for that part. I'm there to, enhance your quality of life therefore after. And it's crazy. It's so epic, I would say, to be a part of your physical rehabilitation. And that's why I talk about United Way, because they allowed us, with some sponsorship from them, is to create a program that tests you. And if you ever took like a personal fitness class in high school or something like that,
kick my ass.
Yeah, right. You do like, sit to stands and bicep curls and things like that.
Oh, what's the one where it's like you jump up and then do the push up and then go down?
Oh, burpees, right? So so we have 6 tests: 2 cardio, 2 flexibility, and 2 strength training tests.
Right on.
And here at New Beginnings, we test you every 3 months.
Oh, right on. So you can track the progress. You can track how well you're making a recovery.
Absolutely.
4 times a year. That boosts your ego when you see you're starting to make positive gains.
It's amazing, and I'm happy to say, that we've been running the program. This is our 4th year. This January was our 4th year running it.
Just passed out, just 2019 year.
Yeah, 2019.
Right on.
This is start of our 4th year.
Right on.
And we have seen a growth.
So with the members or with the progress?
With the progress.
That's
so physical ability, flexibility, and cardio.
Everyone's better than they ever were.
Yeah.
And that's the best kind of results you can
Isn't
see.
it? It's so cool. And I think it's important because some people, I'm not super big into working out in a gym, right? I don't work well.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm sorry for my personal trainer if she's watching this. I get the effort that you put forth, and I'm not on that brainwave. I don't get it. I don't love the gym atmosphere, so to speak. I love having just be able to do the workouts that end up helping me grow.
Man. So like I run a class on, I'll give you an example. I run a class on Mondays at 10 in the morning. Okay. It's called Chair-robics with Dylan.
Nice.
Right.
See like a Chair-robics with Dylan.
Yeah, I got the best music, man. You gotta come out for one.
Gotta come out, absolutely.
But the coolest thing is not everybody that is attending that day enjoys a group setting like we were just talking about, right? So that's where it comes. We have a treadmill in the back, and we have a new step machine and a recumbent bike and things to do alone.
Yeah.
Right. And this past year, we put up a TV on the wall.
Right on.
So our gym area has really expanded. 5 years ago, we had a new step machine. That was it. So now we have like a full gym, right? We have weights.
You
and
have
we
a full home
and
system. If you were to be a home gym right here, we have everything you could need to hit every part of your body.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? And in your recovery, they'll stress to you how important that physical activity is. Mm-hmm. So to offer it here at New Beginnings for free. Nothing.
Yeah, for free. Literally getting professional trained individual to train you for free.
Yeah. That's huge. Our training is through Western University. So
which is one of the best.
It's no joke, right? It's no joke.
Oh my God.
I'm not taking a course online and telling you I'm an instructor. Like we go and we research and we meet some of the most amazing professionals that teach us these things.
I say nutritionalists, physicians, or no, I shouldn't say physicians, trainers, things of that. Even physicians maybe, because they are very important to your physical health.
I agree. And we actually met, I'm going to name drop here, I guess. I met a doctor at the last 2 conferences I've been at. Right on. Dr. Eric Siddiqui.
Dude, that was one of my doctors from my recovery. Dr. Siddiqui.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%. He was my.
Was he younger?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I had 2 doctors that starts with S's, and I always get them confused.
Yeah.
He's
I'll send you the.
I'm trying to think of does he work at Parkwood? Does he work at Parkwood?
He couldn't. I don't think he does now, but I will send you the link to his bio.
Okay, yeah. See if it's the same guy. How many doctors are there out there, Dr. Siddiqui?
You never know, man. You never know. But just me and my other coworker here who went to the conference, we. After his speech, both times we went up and introduced ourselves.
Directly get that one-on-one.
He was so inspirational. He was just, talking about doctors prescribing exercise instead of pills. And
if there's without a fact that we know now more than ever that pills ruin lives.
Right. It was the coolest thing ever. And he talks from such a place, like I said, of passion. And you can just tell he's not saying it to be famous. He's not saying it to be cool. He's he believes in it, and it was amazing. So like I said, we're being trained and we're being taught by people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've had some people come in and say, like, you're an instructor. I'm not I'm a senior fitness instructor, right? So I know what the body needs and what the body can do, at a certain age and what it should be doing.
Yeah.
So and then
I'm not looking at a 25-year-old and being like, this is what you need to do for a perfect life.
Yeah,
that's not,
right. Like
that's not what I'm doing.
I'm not trained to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to help the people who end up needing the help the most when they could forget about things like that.
And I think the coolest thing is, on top of being that, then we have to kind of tie in what's important and what's beneficial to someone who's had a brain injury and a stroke, right?
Absolutely.
So our programs, and like I talk about chair aerobics, on a Monday offer a class that's fully in a chair. Okay. Because not everybody can get out of a chair.
Absolutely. That's one of the big things with stroke, right? Is that you can lose a part of the function of your body, of your arms, your legs, or something like that's just.
And I don't want somebody to be like, oh, it's exercise and I can't do that.
No, it's not. It's like a chair. You're sitting in a chair. You're just grooving, listening to some 70s rock and roll grooving in a chair.
Man, it's like you've been there before.
It's like I might have helped plan it. I haven't done that. I'm just saying. It's the most on a piece of paper. It's the most enjoyable part of exercising. Yeah. And then in reality, it's the most enjoyable exercise you'll ever do.
And I think that's what we've really, talking about that, that gym atmosphere. We've really been able to enhance that, right? Like with our music, we went and we learned how important music was, right? And instead of just playing AC/DC, we bump AC/DC up to 120 beats per minute.
You bump it up.
Right?
You're moving.
Right?
Yeah,
so you're
AC/DC is slow. Back in black is like the slowest RPM ever.
Absolutely. But you pop it up and all these sound.
I'm back in black.
It's so good.
I'm moving now. I'm moving.
Oh my God. Honestly, I've started to enjoy a lot of songs sped up to 120 beats per minute, right? I just find it keeps you, well, you know me, I'm very energetic, right? And things like that.
Absolutely.
And I can attest to speeding up your RPMs is just like, it's amazing, right?
It just kind of helps. It just gets you going.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. I love it. Yeah. And I love that when you were talking about you can attest to being, here and saying how great the place is and things like that, because this is, I like you said, I knew you from before and things like that, and then you lose touch with people over a course of time.
Yeah, dude, it's you move to different locations, right? It's like people that you've it's actually funny. There's a guy that I went to elementary school with. I kind of want to drop his name, but I don't want to drop his name. He's I'll just say his name's John.
Okay,
his
cool.
name's John.
Cool, John. Hi, John.
Hey, what's up, John? John Jon, not John. So he's an even cooler John than the other Johns I know. But he was an individual that I went to McNaughton Avenue Public School with. He was a year younger than me, and I don't remember how I ended up meeting this guy. I don't remember how I associated with him all the years, but every time I ever saw him in high school, I'd be like, hey, John, what's going on, man? He'd be like, hey, Andrew, what's going on, man? Fist bump him, high five, whatever. Ran into him. Yeah, I went to college. I hadn't probably seen him since, pre-2011, whatever. Yeah. Ran into him in 2014. He's like, hey, John, how's it going? And he's like, hey, man, how's it going? It's just like, it's one of those people where we can lose touch for, it doesn't matter how long we lose touch, but as soon as I see you again, man, it's just like, dude, right? How's it going, man?
I know.
I think there's a whole rule of thumb, 5 years of friendship means a lifetime of friendship or something like that. It's like you've just known the person for so long that.
And you know what? It's crazy because you meet a lot of people in your life, and not everybody that you meet, you have a connection with, right? Sometimes you force those connections because you have to.
Connections are shitty.
And I love that you say that, because every time I've seen you in the last, 5 years, didn't matter if it's been 2 weeks since I saw you or 2 years.
Yeah. Because we end up working together that one time in Pancora for school there, which I honestly thank you so much for asking me to be involved in that. It was funny. I ended up running into my cousin, didn't know she went to school, which was hilarious.
That was so crazy.
But to be asked to be included in that meant so much to me. Yep. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the results from that presentation led to such a partnership between the school and you guys that
absolutely
it was, it was like you patted my back, I patted yours, and then the school was hugging us both. Yeah. And I love to think that that's,
the third party, man. And that's that connection in the community, right? Yeah. So, and I'll ESPC.
Mm-hmm. ESPC, absolutely. Get specific, Pancora, ESPC.
Amazing.
Phenomenal school.
They actually, they support us very well, and for a school even to just recognize us,
absolutely,
and spread the word, because me and you were saying, it's so hard to hit the youth.
Yep, because they just brush it off, man.
They just brush it off.
Yeah, it's just another person.
Yeah, so thank you to them because I've been trying to raise awareness for 5 years, and it's a hard thing to do in this community sometimes.
Absolutely, man.
Right?
Some people just don't want to hear a message that you've been preaching, that not even you've been preaching, that anybody's been preaching to them for how long.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'll talk about the youth for a second.
Absolutely, very important topic.
Last year,
time to talk about
last year we did a helmet giveaway with United Way.
Right on. Encourage safe bike riding.
Absolutely, it was so cool actually to see. So you never know how good something's going to be in this town when you try to run it, right?
Absolutely.
You do as much promotion as you can, and
you work your butt off to get it the best you can,
right? And then you just have to wait for the people to show up.
Yes,
right.
That's a tough one.
Is there other things going on that day? What's the weather like?
What's the weather, which is totally
right. Chatham's hard when it comes to that, but we were blessed to have a wonderful weather day, and we gave out over 120 helmets to the youth.
Fantastic. 120 kids riding bikes safer
with helmets.
Helmets.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, honestly, because that actually goes back. It pertains to a personal story of mine where I should say I'm currently on hold with them because the school board and everything, but there's an impact program out of the Victoria Hospital in Windsor, or in London, I should say, Victoria and Parkwood, and one of the beautiful, most amazing people I work with in that group. I won't name names, obviously, because I don't like to, we don't like to discuss names like that. But sorry, John. But the beautiful lady there, she was hit on her bike, and she had her helmet on, and that's what saved her life. And that's like, she landed on her spine and is paralyzed from the neck down, but that bike ended up saving her life, essentially, right? Like, she shows the helmet to us in presentations like, this has saved my life. You don't understand how important a bike helmet is to you when you're riding a bike. Like, they're there for a reason, right?
It's that fitting in thing, right? Because you remember when you were
trying
a kid
to be a badass,
and your parents made you put on the helmet, and as soon as you got around the corner, you took it off.
I'm just gonna ditch it in my neighbor's bush and
hang it on the handlebar, right? And it's so sad because growing up, now even when I'm driving down the road and I see it, I have to stop myself from yelling out the window, like, put your helmet on,
man. I'm not that old guy, but I want to see you live a good life. I don't want to see you ruin your life by one simple little accident.
Absolutely.
Because there's one thing that aren't getting better is as the drivers of this world. So,
you are right there, buddy. Jeez,
I don't like to think it's because a lot more Torontonians are coming down to the Chatham area, but a lot more big city bucks coming down here and ruining our traffic.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's it's just one of those things, man, that the youth are so important, but they're so hard. They're all on their tablets and their phones, and it's hard to kind of get through to them.
Well, that's actually interesting, because I was having a discussion with a couple of buddies of mine the other day about that, how we were really at the tail end of the generation without electronic devices.
Yeah.
We got cell phones kind of grade 9-ish, like that's when we kind of got them, and that was just to keep in contact with our parents.
Yeah.
But then BlackBerry
they had T9
came out.
texting.
T9 texting? Oh, 1397 was like... Hello, it's just like kids will never understand.
Those were the days, man.
Those were the days. But at the same time, I look at it, it's like we weren't exposed to all those electronics as kids. We were outside biking, delivering papers. I got my first paying job when I was 13, just at 13, right? Like we've been contributing as long as we can because we haven't been raised in an electronic generation where our brain is where it's in that device.
Mm-hmm.
So that is up for debate that the next generation of children is being ruined, and I wouldn't say the next generation because at this point I like to think they've kind of realized what's happening. They're trying to do what they can to avoid that.
Yeah.
But there is that little 10 years of kids that were
really affected,
messed
right?
up, man.
Because the phones only got bigger and could only do more things, right? Because I remember, like you're saying, when we were in high school, you had your phone, then you had an iPod to take your music, and then you had a camera to take photos on, and it's just like all into one device now.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine. I remember you'd leave home without one thing, and you'd be so upset, right?
I didn't bring my camera. Now I can't take pictures of the journey, and I'm not going to take them on this crappy 1 megapixel camera.
I know exactly right. delete and send are the only two options, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the crazy. And to think, right? Like, what year did you graduate? Was it 2011?
2011, yeah.
2011, yeah. So I was 2010. So like, to think that much time has already gone by, and technology has advanced that much.
It's scary.
That's what makes you feel old, right? Because you're like, we're at the age where we're going, oh, you darn kids, right?
You little bastards.
Right?
Get off my lawn.
It's so crazy.
I just cut that.
I never thought. Yeah, I had a little kid kick my garbage can over the other day, and I was not too happy. And then
as a teenager, I would have went upstairs, got my paintball gun, and rode around my bike till I found the little bastard. But now I'm just like, I'm gonna call the police and report that.
I was so mad, Andrew. Like, and I picked it up, brought it to the side of the house. I went inside and I looked at my wife and I'm like, I am my dad. Like, oh man, like, I just wanted to scold that little boy with my words so bad.
You start taking off the belt.
Oh man, like it was like my dad came right out in me. I'm like, oh, I never thought I'd be like, but it's.
Hey, at least you know you're his.
You have a respect for property now,
absolutely.
Right? You have a respect for things. And
you're born from him. You are him in a sense. It's exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's genetics
crazy.
Right there.
Yeah.
No, it's just about, I think, a big thing that kids aren't being taught a lot nowadays is respect.
Yeah.
Respecting. But the big thing with John, I shouldn't even say John Leahy, John Dunsworth.
Okay.
With his passing, one of the big videos that I remember them kind of pushing was him on set. Mm-hmm. And he was speaking, I think, just to everyone. He said one of the big things that I think a lot of people don't have anymore is gratitude. And the left part of my brain got really mangled. And the left part of my brain is like the English part of my brain, and things where it understands speech and things like that. And I don't know what gratitude meant. I remember Googling it, and it was just like, I remember reading it. It's like, yeah, dude, that's one, like the world doesn't have any gratitude. I think it's just being like gracious for other people, giving opportunities to things. Actually, I don't know if she might be, I don't know if she's tuned in or not, but there's a couple people I met a couple weeks ago, and they the one person ended up contacting me and asking me if I wanted to go along with them to a 21 Pilots show.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, like what? She's like, yeah, like, if you want to come along, the ticket's there. The person that was going to go backed out. It's over $100 worth. I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you really offering me this ticket as an opportunity to go? Because like I don't cry. I don't get emotional and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm so thankful that I could cry to you, right? Because
Absolutely.
I'm so gracious of that offer. Like, you're paying it forward, and there's just so much good still to be done in the world. I think there's so much good. And
people
so many
expect things. That's the right. People
that is the problem.
That's what it is.
See, that's the way I kind of live life, man. I just don't expect anything.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing. I can try not to say that in a shitty way where it's like, I don't freaking expect anything out of life.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just try and live every day where you can only expect for what you've given to be returned, right?
Yeah,
like,
give and take society, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess so. One of the things we kind of ended up jumping off of the New Beginnings track there was we did the artwork, we did the wood shop.
Yep.
We have cooking.
Yeah. So we have.
That's another. I think that's one of the last big things that we should talk about in New Beginnings, because I think that's also one of the biggest things to take away. Because me personally, I resorted on fast food for a very long time. I gained a lot of weight because I didn't like cooking. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't remember brain injury, survivor here. Cooking wasn't one that I wanted to do. So tell me about this cooking.
I'm glad you brought it up, right? Because it ties into what we do outside, which is gardening as well, right? So
yes, the fresh vegetable garden out back.
Absolutely, which helps us cut costs in the kitchen, right?
True.
So,
local grown, fresh from right backyard.
Yep. So the cook, she cooks a delicious meal every single day. Today we had honey garlic chicken on a bed of wild rice with vegetables.
So good.
Oh, it was so good. That's why I was 5 minutes late, Andrew. I was scarfing food down. No, it's so good. And it does cost $5 for a lunch. But
that's the most inexpensive lunch possible.
Right. Water, hot chocolate, coffee, tea, free all day.
That's incredible.
So, your drink is free. You get this amazing meal for $5.
Fresh made with fresh ingredients.
Always.
That's a huge thing to point out. $5 for a fresh made, fresh ingredient meal.
Yeah, so our cook, Chris, she does not cook anything from frozen. She refuses to, which is the coolest thing, right?
I wish I was that way.
I have personally, just been able to watch people grow in the kitchen, like you said.
Yep.
What we're finding out is, and this will tie in with what you said, we're finding that our members are after they leave here at 4:00, they're not having the most healthiest decisions.
Things afterwards. Yep. Which I can attest to that. I was going to bring a bag of spicy nacho Doritos for us to munch on during the podcast. And I just thankfully didn't have enough room in my bag. So that
thankfully?
No, it's okay. I bought the mini eggs right there. Don't think
those are yours.
Dude, I brought those, man. I threw them in. Nice. You want to help yourself, man. Help yourself to them, right? They're right there. You know, they're right. Help yourself, nice. Man. I brought them. They're the best treat you could possibly get.
I agree with you. I won't lie to you there, man.
Shout out Hershey's mini, whatever the hell they are. They're trash. Get those out of here.
So, yeah, they are bad. So, what we're doing at 12 o'clock. So our lunch is served at 12 o'clock every day.
Sure.
And we're just guaranteeing that they're getting, a full nutritious meal in every single day.
And that helps you get through the rest of the day.
Absolutely, right?
One of the best things you do is have the nutritious breakfast.
Yeah. And we do offer, like you were talking about, we have that, we have a giant kitchen. You've seen our kitchen.
It's massive. Yeah. It's it's bigger than like the kitchen that we had when we were being taught how to cook in high school.
It's huge in there. So one of the coolest things is we have members that bring in, bread and eggs and bacon and things, and we will help them in the mornings. They cook their breakfast.
So they can bring their own food in and then be helped cook it.
Absolutely.
See, that's also a huge thing.
And it is, right? Because, sometimes with the busing schedule and things like that, you get up, you get dressed, and the bus is there.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily have time to eat.
Yep, no time.
So then you come in here and we
everyone
make
loves
sure.
to sleep in.
You darn right, man. You're darn right. Thank goodness.
But that is huge then, to be able to, be taught. Not even taught. I don't know. I don't like to use the word taught because we've all been taught how to cook things. But it's assisted.
Reintroduced.
Reintroduced. A great word. Yeah. Dude,
absolutely.
Had to be reintroduced how to ride a bike. It was learning how to walk again.
Well, and I've learned a ton from the kitchen because, I went from high school right to college, and then college I got hired, 2 days after right to here.
Yeah, right to work.
So I never sat down and really learned how to cook either.
No,
so
college is not the time to sit down and learn how to cook.
No, right?
Got a job, so
I've learned a ton from working here, and it's one of those things where because you have so many different people in the organization, like member-wise and things, right? I think we have 250 members in our Chatham location, right?
That's just the Chatham location.
Right.
That's one of two.
Think about all the things 250 people can be good at.
Yeah.
Like the things you can learn, right? Like I'm here to assist them, but the things I've learned from each individual is insane.
Because each individual is their own story, right?
Yeah.
We all have our own chapters and different things to learn about us and things we like to do.
And I'll give you an example, like the garden we were talking about. We grow our own vegetables there. And last year we had somebody come in and say, why aren't you laying the flower or the garden beds like this and putting, this here for drainage and doing this? And we're like, I don't know.
Yeah, we never thought of it. Let's try that.
And our vegetables were immaculate this year, right?
Really?
Because of that, right?
Because
or the
like
wood
an
shop.
irrigation system that just helps feed them better. And
it was crazy,
but
we start the process, and really, it's member driven here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the wood shop's a great example. Like again, I went from high school to college to here, so I'm not a woodworker by any means.
I was never taught how to. I did one class in high school.
Right. So everything I've learned about woodworking I've learned from a member, right?
Self-taught from the member. I shouldn't say self-taught because it'd be like being taught by that fellow member,
right?
And then being able to just use that knowledge.
Yeah, the members have taught me, right? So like I've learned how to use the CNC machine, use the lathe, use the saws, right, and all that stuff.
Which I think is huge because again, like we said earlier, when someone sees or thinks of a stroke recovery, brain injury recovery place, they don't expect to go in and then learn how to use a freaking CNC machine.
Right.
That's incredible. That's such a gifted opportunity that is just right in your hand, that it's just there to be taken.
I agree. And, opportunity is huge, right? So
opportunity is a huge word.
I'm proud to say, I'm proud to say that, I do the volunteer coordinating here.
Fantastic.
If anybody's listening,
I say any information, give it to anybody tuning in. If anybody wants to find you, obviously we're in Chatham.
Yep.
There's a location, there's a telephone number, there's a website, there's a Facebook page.
You know it. So
let them have it.
Yeah, 9 Maple Leaf Drive here in Chatham. And you can contact me 519-351 0297. You can just ask for Dylan. And then if it rings, then you can just go to my voicemail.
Perfect. So phone number again, sorry, one time was?
519-351-0297.
Perfect.
So you can catch me there. Our websites are, a cool website, but I'm most proud of our Facebook page because social media is so big right now.
It's the number one thing. I like to think Facebook is dying.
Yeah,
but I don't know why I like to think that because
dang.
it's just it's like all ads and everything. But
yeah, no, I heard the other day that it's more the older population that's using it now.
Really?
And I heard that a lot of the younger kids have transitioned over to Instagram and Snapchat and things like that, right?
Two of the worst apps out there. Yeah,
so the kids are using this, and then us, we're using
separate
this.
ourselves. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I didn't mean to cut that out.
I love when we have side chats, man. I honestly hope it's not my last time on this podcast.
Oh, dude, it definitely is not. That's for sure.
But honestly, I'm the volunteer coordinator, so if there's anything that we've talked about here that you think you'd be interested in helping out with,
say get volunteering and just come in and help.
Absolutely.
Volunteer hours, they do count for high schools. Anybody,
absolutely.
High school students listening.
We want the help, right? We have 5 staff members in the Chatham location, so all the help we can get is worthy of it, right? 250 members, so when you have 30-40 people show up in a day and you have 2 people working on the floor, it's busy.
Yeah, it's a little chaos. You're everywhere doing everything, helping everybody.
And we've been very fortunate. We've had really good placements from St. Clair College lately.
Right on, yeah.
We've had really good walk-in volunteers that,
just kind of walking off the street, saw it, wanted to help out.
So
see, that St. Clair College thing is huge because we have a pretty main college in Chatham, like a campus that has a lot of humanitarian services.
Oh yeah,
options, things like that. Where this is a perfect opportunity for them to come in and check it out and help.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm privileged to be able to go and do presentations at the college in front of students. It's the craziest, looking back, I'm like, I never thought I'd be the person going into a classroom and making a presentation, right? But
it feels so good when you do it.
So good, man. And just to touch, it's an easy place to talk about because I have passion for it, right? Like I worked at Subway for a long time, right? And if you asked me to go make a presentation on Subway, it'd probably be pretty bland because I was there for the money.
Yeah, I'm just here to make sandwiches.
But I am here because I love this place and I love the community. And when I talk about it, a lot of the times what I get from the people that are listening are, wow, you love that place. And it's
that's why I work here. That's why I show up every day with the biggest freaking smile I'll ever see on my face, and I maintain it all day, and I leave with that. Like you don't have any negative energy when you're here.
No,
it's not a negative energy facility.
You can't be mad here. Like you can't. It's such an impossible thing. Like
it's such a happy facility.
Yeah, we've had everybody has bad days, and here it just seems to kind of evaporate, right? It just
your problems stay outside when you walk through that door.
Problem stays outside, and that's one of our mottos here. Our thing we used to always say with New Beginnings is come grow with us, because every day you have an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, it's right? Every day's a second chance, It's
absolutely, man.
The one thing I like to think is like yesterday is just the past, tomorrow's the future. You just forget what happened yesterday.
I just had that conversation with somebody yesterday, one of our members, right? They were having a bad day, and I was just like, tomorrow this is going to be in the past. Yeah. And what I need you to do is focus on what you're going to do tomorrow to make it better. Yeah. So
even it's just like overcoming. One thing I remember, I actually reference it when I do speeches for when I do the impact speeches, is that like one of the nurses used to come in and help me put my socks on every day. Yep. And then she stopped doing it, and she's like, you got to do it. And I freaking hate her because I'm like, I don't want to freaking do that. Just your job is to help me put my socks on. Do it. Yeah. But like then having to be forced to do it myself, and end up helping me overcome that shitty day yesterday where I couldn't put my socks on myself. I'm making new progress bending today to put that sock on. Absolutely. I only got the sock on maybe 3/4 of the foot, but it's still better than the toes that I did yesterday.
Absolutely, man. And just to kind of extend the olive branch, because you've given me such a great opportunity here today. I would love if you were comfortable doing it to come and make a presentation to the members.
Oh, I would be honored to do that. That'd be fantastic.
One of my things, success stories just help people.
Absolutely. Right? Everyone loves to be able to be told that it's conquerable. Like that mountain is not unclimbable. You can definitely climb it.
Absolutely. So, and and I know some members know you in here.
Yes.
And I see.
Hopefully all for good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do bad things, but I don't know. Maybe they heard things where they're like, I don't know if I like that guy.
Well, I know one of my members have watched every single one of your podcasts as well.
Really?
So
I feel so honored because I again appreciate everyone so much that tunes into these things, because again, I don't do it for these people, but at the same time I do it for these people because I just want them to have access to solid informative conversation.
Absolutely. And it's just, I personally think you're the best person for it. I said it to you last week. I think we were chatting a little bit.
You said it a couple times.
And I said it, man, like, your passion for it and the way you go about things. And it doesn't matter, like whether you're talking to me about, healthcare and something here, or if you're talking to somebody about music or whatever, you're so good at switching gears and making, whatever you're talking about important. I think that's one of the coolest things that you have in you.
Thank you.
Is that you're able to, I think you could talk about the crumb on the floor over there, and you would talk about it with passion and greatness.
It's a pretty important crumb. We don't know where that crumb came from. Could have been a bagel, could have been a piece of bread.
Yeah.
It's up for us to find out.
A Cool Ranch Dorito, maybe.
Oh, jalapeno cheddar.
But yeah, man, and I don't want you to ever think you're not doing a great job, because honestly, everything starts out, tiny like this.
Dude,
it'll become something.
Man, well, thank you so much for that.
Problem,
I
buddy.
do really appreciate that.
Problem.
I say a lot of people, I can't say a lot of people, but some people randomly tell me that. They're like, you inspired me. Or like, I take what you say and I take it so seriously and it's so meaningful to me. I'm like, I don't know why though. Get out of here. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know that I'm able to understand people looking up to me in a sense, because I've never looked at myself in that sense. I never saw myself as somebody that people should look up to. It's just been the way that life's played out.
And it's a super hard thing. Some people, it's super hard for you to say that, right? Like, I was in a down place, and Andrew, like, your podcast really helped me, right?
If I had anybody ever tell me that, I would be so honored. I'd be like, dude, I would, or even just like dudette, dude or dudette. I call everyone dude, man or female, but it's like, man. I said man again, but it's like, like, I'm so thankful that you would come to me and tell me that, because like you being lifted up by me speaking to a guest lifts me up, because I know that it lifted you up. And then at that point, I like to think we can just keep lifting each other up until we're both in, in the heavens or whatever. The stars.
I agree, and I want to, just from, not from my personal view, but from like a New Beginnings view, we thank you because this is such a different opportunity, right? Like usually, you get to go make your presentations, or you're on a rapid podium and you get 5 minutes.
And I said, I came in here, I said, let's just, like, I try and shoot for hours. I don't know how long it's been so far. I don't
me
care,
neither.
Man. The conversation's been, it doesn't matter how long good conversation lasts.
And I think, it's the audience as well, right? Different audience are going to watch this than would have watched a presentation of mine. So, anybody that I can hit in a different area is going to be beneficial. So, talking to my boss and talking to some of the other members and staff, they were just like, you're doing what? And I'm like, I'm doing a podcast. Like, how cool is that for an opportunity for our organization to get out there in another way? So I, thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. It
was my pleasure, man.
Honestly, it's the coolest thing. And if, I hope to come back for sure.
You will be.
And I would love to come back.
Not even a question.
One time with you and Trevor.
I have a Trevor and Dylan Turato.
I can tell you how bad your Leafs are. But,
man. See, there's some trash being talked there. But we're going to leave that for a different. That's where we're going to end it today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, no, that's great. But honestly, man, again, like we said earlier, man, I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have you on as a guest today. Like I said, originally, you were the one that helped me get started. You were the guest that I said, if it's going to happen, I want this to happen with Dylan Turato first. He's the guy where we're going to have that conversation. Yep. And, we've had, it's been a conversation today where it's I'm going to review it later, and I'm going to, that was a freaking good, just a hell of a conversation.
Heck
and
yeah, man.
It never stopped for the entire time, and there's never been bad information that's been kind of portrayed to individual.
Yeah.
So again, Dylan, I thank you for coming on the podcast today. Just one last time, we did give him the information earlier, but for New Beginnings in Chatham, let's just give everyone all the information one more time. Business hours, address, kind of any way they can contact you, emails, everything like that, and I'll try and get everyone I can to be coming in here, because New Beginnings is a phenomenal place where you can come and be a part of the community here, free of charge, and you can donate your time as a repayment, and that's the way I like to think everyone should kind of take this facility, because it is such a blessing.
Thank you so much, man. So again, we are New Beginnings ABI and Stroke Recovery Association. We are on 9 Maple Leaf Drive in Chatham, Ontario. 519-351-0297. You can ask for Dylan. And if you guys want to ever come out, if you have a loved one with a brain injury or stroke, you can bring them in. We are free of charge. We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 till 4. And if you are somebody out there who just wants to kind of help out in your community, like Andrew said, I'm the volunteer coordinator, so I would love to have you in. And I would have you in for 15 minutes a day or 8 hours a day. Whatever you can give up will be beneficial to us as an organization and you in personal growth. So thanks for having me, buddy. It's been amazing.
Dylan Turato, New Beginnings, ABI, and Stroke Recovery. Thank you so much for being on Crawford Tales Podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
Can't wait until the next time I have you on with either yourself, Trevor Legary, or we'll see what we can get ourselves up to. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. And until the next time, thank you for watching and listening. Crawford Tales Podcast. Peace.